Okay, we're looking at Module 7, Lesson 1. We're about modeling real life situations. And in order for us to do that, we kind of want to make some sense of the problem. And so this first problem here is about a department store, and they're offering new customers or frequent customers rewards card. And that means every transaction that they make is going to be worth 12 points. But it says they also get 25 points automatically just for signing up. So the 25 points that they get for signing up means even if they don't make any transactions, the graph is automatically going to start at 25. That's your bonus. And if you remember from our slope intercept form, these equations are going to be looking like they're in y equals mx plus b format. And this is our initial value. Or what if I don't sell anything? What if my x is 0? I still have an initial bonus of 25 points. And so that's where our y-intercept is going to be. And then it says I get 12 points every time I make a transaction. So if I make one transaction, it goes up by 12, from 25 to 37. If I make two transactions, it goes up by 24. And I notice that we're not using x, we're using t. So that equation would look something like 12t plus 25, and that means I get 12 points every time I make a transaction. And that's our slope. That's what we get every single time we make a transaction. It increases by 12. It has a rate of change of 12 points per transaction. And this y-intercept that's what we get for signing up for the card. That's like our membership reward bonus. You don't have to buy anything and you're going to get that bonus. So I'll let you fill in those blanks on your note guide, but there's that problem in a nutshell. Now the rest of these don't work out in slope intercept form. Every single one of them is a standard form problem. And so this number 2 is about the band Booster Club, and they're selling two things. I noticed that we've got a B-axis and a T-axis, and they represent something. The Booster Club president is trying to sell t-shirts and blankets. And so that's what the T stands for. So the T is t-shirts, and the B is blankets. I can't really write up a hill like that, so this will look really bad. But there it is. So this is our blanket axis, and remember, this is our y-axis, and this is our x-axis, but they don't actually have those letters, so it's going to be the B and the T. And these equations, we're going to write these things out in standard form. It's going to be a lot easier because we're going to be able to graph it using intercepts, only we're not using the x and y intercepts. On this problem, we're going to use the b and the t intercepts. So we got to make some sense out of what they're selling here. The first thing I noticed is they got a goal of $1,000. So whatever I sell has to add up to $1,000. Now, t-shirts, I can see those, they cost 10 each. And then I see the blankets cost 25 each. And that equation is going to look like this. If I sell nothing but t-shirts, they're $10 a piece. And if I sell nothing but blankets, those things are $25 each. And together I've got to come up with $1,000. Well, we can graph this using intercepts pretty easily without trying to get, in this case, if I wanted to get y by itself, I guess I would be saying get the letter b by itself. Then we could have it in slope intercept form, and we could graph it by finding the slope and the y-intercept. But it's actually easier to do this with intercepts, because here's what we're going to do. I'm going to find the t-intercept, and what that represents is, what if I only sell t-shirts and I sell 0 blankets? So if I sell 0 blankets, we're just going to pretend that the blankets disappeared. Okay, it's 0, and so 25 times 0 is nothing. And what if I want to find the b-intercept, which means what if I sell 0 t-shirts? Let's cross off t-shirts. So if I want to find the y-intercept or the b-intercept, I'm going to divide this one by 25. And if I divide by 25, I know that 25 goes into 104 times, so 1,040 times. And the b-intercept is 40, and I can put that dot on the graph because what that means is if I only sell blankets, I got to sell 40 of them to make $1,000. That's what that means if I don't sell any t-shirts at all. And then what if I sell just t-shirts? I'm going to go find the t-intercept. I'll divide by 10 on both sides. And that means that the t-intercept is at 100. Now, I know that I got to sell more t-shirts because they don't cost as much. So it takes more to get to $1,000. But my t-intercept is right there at $1,000, 100 shirts for $1,000. And if I connect these with a line, that's my equation. And the line represents all the combinations that add up to $1,000. So if I sell nothing but 40 blankets, that's 1,000. And if I sell, let's say this right here is 25 t-shirts, maybe I got to sell 31 or 32 blankets to get to 1,000. Um, these anything that's on the line represents a combination that would add up to 1,000. And then of course on the x-axis is what if I only sold t-shirts? It'd be 100 of them to get to $1,000. So that's how you graph it. We want to make sure we label the axis. So that's why I labeled the axis here. I graphed it using 2 intercepts, and I just gave you the interpretation for what is the blanket intercept? Well, that's if I only sell blankets and no t-shirts. And then what was the t-shirt intercept? Well, that's what if I just sold 100 t-shirts and I didn't sell any blankets? I would still get to my $1,000 goal. So you got 6 more to do on your own. Good luck.